readers, my name is Medallio. Welcome to my channel where I review indie romance books and showcase what I believe the main characters look like through AI images. Support indie authors with me by subscribing and liking this video. This time, we are exploring the seedy mafia world of New Orleans in Obsession by Natalia Lourose. This is my first time reading a book by Lourose. Question to the readers. If you were forced into an arranged marriage by a good-looking older man, would you be into it? Do you think you'd like it? Drop a comment below and let me know what you think. And also pick up a copy of Obsession by Natalia Lourose. Spice level. I gave this 3 peppers. I thought there was tension, there was kissing, there were some open door smack scenes, but they were also very short. This was a slow burn. You know how I feel about slow burns. But I also gave 3 peppers because there were some spicy scenes at the end of the book, but they weren't open door, which I didn't really understand. They were just kind of like sped up and glossed over. Star rating. I gave this 3 stars. And I gave it 3 stars because it had a great plot. The story really drew me in. But I did notice a few errors when it came to like wrong words used. Like I was really into it. The writing was flowing and I was like, yeah. And then I had to stop. And I was a little frustrated because there was a random word put in the wrong place. But that's it. Summary. Let's get into the review. We start with Maddie at a young age. She's at her father's funeral, and because of him being so verbally and physically abusive to her, she's happy that he's dead. But the worst part is that when the story moves forward, she's 18 and her older brother has taken over the family business. And with his mother's encouragement, they have basically pushed her into an arranged marriage that she doesn't want to be in. And that just reinforces her hatred for her brother and her mother. Like a knight in shining armor, the family lawyer swoops in and decides to marry Maddie. Even though Adrian virtually saves her life, she vows to make his life a living hell. And it seems to last for just like a few seconds. It fizzles out, which I was really annoyed about because I wanted to really see her just lay into him and be like, you think you can own me? You know, you can't do these things. She does pull some really great, like, hilarious pranks on him that made me go, oh my God. Like, he's a good guy because he put up with that. It just didn't last, in my opinion. And I think that, like, when she was exhibiting this behavior, which is like, I'm making her life a living hell, it was that push and pull tension that we really needed to see them finally give in to each other. And I don't know, it just didn't last, in my opinion. We also find that while they're figuring out their marriage and their relationship, Adrian has just positioned himself in the middle of an all-out mafia war between these families. And they're all related. They're all connected. I believe that there's going to be other books in this mafia world from this author. So, but they're just like, they're all connected and they all just like, are trying to like fight for power and conquer for power. Character analysis. So Maddie, she is feisty, creative, kinky, and kind. She comes across as the black sheep in the family. But I think ultimately she just wants to be accepted for who she is. And it's hard to be herself in a family that has these specific expectations of her. There's a scene in the book where she starts to really fall for Adrian because he shows her that he really does accept her for the person that she is. And he doesn't want her to be anybody else but her. Like, in the beginning of the book, Maddie dyes her hair blue, and she does it in rebellion because she wants, like, the guy who they're selling her off to be like, this isn't who I want to be with. She's not even mature enough, you know. She's still a child. So, but Adrian liked that about her. He liked that she pushed boundaries and that she was okay with doing that. And so he was like, "How about we re-dye your hair blue?" And he brought in a professional hairstylist who came in and did it better than how she originally had it. But she swooned a little. She was really liking him for that. And I liked Adrian for that too. Because what woman doesn't want to be with a man who loves her for who she really is and doesn't want to change her? Adrian is moody, ambitious, and domineering. And he comes into the story with a vendetta against this mafia family. He has his own reasons for being their lawyer, besides the money, you know. But he has his reasons. And but Maddie just like, she comes in and extinguishes that vendetta that he has inside of him. He stretches himself really thin with his allegiances because he ends up honestly caught in the middle where he's working with multiple families behind their backs. And it really does come to a head at the end where I started thinking, if he could just move on from the issues that he has, he would be such a happier person. Conflict. I thought that there were 3 conflicts in this book, and here they are. Adrian inserting himself into the mafia business because of this vendetta that he has against them. Maddie and Adrian try to figure out their relationship and figure out their marriage. And then how Maddie's family treats her. Conclusion. In conclusion, this story really drew me in, and then it fell kind of flat. There were times, and I don't want to say this, but it is how I feel as a reader, there were times when I was a little bit bored and I sped through the mafia politics. It was honestly the politics that I was just like, there's just too much of this. I know it's a mafia romance. I know there's mafia business in there, but I think the problem was I was yearning for more romance and more growth, of seeing the growth between Maddie and Adrian. We were told about the growth, but we weren't actually shown it. I wanted to see them have these romantic moments, go on dates together, get to know each other better. I wanted to find out more about Adrian. I wanted to find out if he told Maddie about his vendetta, about his issues going on. I mean, we find out that he does eventually tell her, but I wanted them to have these really deep and meaningful conversations that they didn't really have in the beginning of the book because they were, you know, at odds with each other. I wanted sweet moments where it's raining outside and they decide to stay in and be on the couch together in the living room and get cozy and comfy together. And she puts her legs up on his lap and she's reading a book while he's doing whatever on the other side of the couch. But they're, you know, they're having an intimate moment just in that moment. And I really wanted more of that. I think the main issue that came up with me as a reader was that we got way more instances of telling and not showing. And, for instance, there was a situation where Adrian and Maddie thought that they didn't have a lot of time left with each other. They thought that their number was up. They were going to be unalived. So instead of the usual kinky smacks that we usually got from them, we got them finally making love, and it was glossed over. It was just pushed aside for the rest of the content in the book, and I didn't like that. I really wanted to see that growth between the two of them, and I thought that them having that extremely intimate, vulnerable moment would have been it, and it wasn't used. Something else is that this might just be me nitpicking, but Adrian is described as a reformed gangster, and there are some moments in the book where there's violence toward him, and he didn't react in a way that I stereotypically would assume a gangster would react. So a little confused. I was like, well, he doesn't come across that way at all. So it was quite confusing. But I mean, at the end of the book, everything was wrapped up in a nice little bow, but we were told. We weren't shown the happily ever after. We were told about the happily ever after. So, but all in all, my recommendation is that if you like mafia romances and if you like trending, tropey mafia romances, then I highly recommend you picking up Obsession by Natalia Lourose. So that's it for me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I'd like to know what you think. I'd like to know if you would give in to a arranged marriage with a dominant looking man, and if you'd like it. Well, thank you so much.